Well, pleasure to have in studio Dylan Schneeberger. He is heading up the River Queen Wrestling Program. Dylan, how did this all come about?
Oh, it's been actually a few years in the making. We'd heard a couple years ago that it was going to get sanctioned. We didn't know for sure. And then when word got out, my assistant coach, Eric Spittler, and I knew this was the direction we were going to try to go because we felt strongly we could build a program and kind of take it on our own. So that's what we did.
Iowa, of course, is known for its wrestling and has actually been kind of a leader in girls wrestling, has it not?
Yeah, actually, we were just in Iowa City watching the Hawks on Sunday, and they introduced the girls team, and it's pretty neat because you see the numbers growing constantly, and every time I'm looking around, it just seems more and more girls getting involved, which is really cool.
Speaking of numbers, a nice article in the Clinton Herald this morning, a picture of the girls. So what about the numbers you have out for the River Queens?
So we got 17 right now. We're going to take 11 tonight. We got some out, some with injury and some with orchestra tonight, but the numbers are good. We're still trying to grow. We got 3 or 4 at the middle school right now that'll be coming up. So we're in a better place than most teams. Teams we'll see tonight, I know Assumption has like 4. So it's pretty sparingly for everybody around here. So
you mentioned the program getting started here in Iowa. Now, what about the lower levels, middle school as well as the high school?
Yeah, middle school, middle school is kind of tough because they're still co-ed. And the junior wrestling program still has co-ed. And we're in the process of kind of figuring out how we want to break off from that to make sure we can get more girls, wrestling girls. They're going to do that from the time they're in middle school starting next year till high school. So got to separate them now.
My grandson wrestles at Solon. He is a sophomore, but on the middle school level, even then, they had girls that were wrestling. And do you see, you were talking before we went on the air, it's more like central western Iowa is kind of ahead of the eastern part of the state.
Yeah, I think it's just the bigger areas, the metro areas. They have more clubs available. Down here in eastern Iowa, it's mostly down in the Davenport area. But hopefully we can continue to build. I know we've been trying to think of like creating clubs and stuff around here. But that's kind of been the thing is Western and Central Iowa getting bigger and bigger, and we're just waiting for Eastern Iowa to catch up.
So who's helping you out?
Eric Spittler's my assistant coach, and he's done a wonderful job. That guy is, I say all the time, he's the best recruiter in the district. He can get anybody out for the sport. He connects with all the kids. The girls love him. So it's just him and I right now, and my brother is at the middle school with us. He's been doing a wonderful job too. So it's been a family deal for sure. So,
well, obviously family. Bob Luter's, of course, your grandfather. JD, who I understand is helping again with the River King program, is your uncle. So yeah, do you find wrestling to be kind of a family sport?
Oh yeah, and I think it's especially with mine, just because, and I've been telling people too, like if you go back far enough. Since the 40s, my family's been involved in wrestling at Clinton High School. It's pretty special. It's special because, JD learned from Grandpa, I learned from JD, and now I get a chance to do this, which, when I sit and think back, I never thought in a million years it would happen, but I'm super excited that it is and humbled for the opportunity for sure.
Again, visiting with Dylan Schneeberger, heading up the River Queen Wrestling Program. So what have you seen so far in practice, Dylan?
We have a lot of athletic girls. And one thing that's neat about Clinton is, we have athletic girls, but we have tough girls. And, I'm taking down 11 tough girls tonight. I know they're excited. Usually when you have kids that start out and they don't necessarily like to wrestle live, my girls want to wrestle live all the time. And so it's exciting to see. I know last night they came up to the middle school meet to watch, and they were ready to go by the end. They said they can't wait for tomorrow. So
I would imagine fundamentals, techniques, different things like that, the same for the girls as it is for the boys. You're teaching them the sport right now.
Yeah, we're starting with the very basics. I said to my wife, I said, it's basically like starting in middle school. You teach them everything from this is a headgear, these are your ankle bands, and you go from there. But the nice thing is you're not correcting some bad habits. And they pick up on it fairly easy. I said, you're not going to be able to think when you go out there. It's just reaction. So. But yeah, we start with the very basics, and we try to keep it as simple as we can.
Now, what about the weight groups? Is that different from the boys at all?
Yeah, it's a little different. They start at 100, and where the boys start at 106, and but it's, you know, 5-pound increments, and you know, we have a bunch in the middle, which is pretty common. I'd like to see more at the lighter weights. You know, that's where we're kind of low right now, but yeah, it's fairly similar to the guys. So
you open, as you mentioned, you're going to be down at North Scott, the Invitational down there. The girls got to be excited about finally getting on the mat, and I would imagine they're going to be in the pit.
Yeah, I told them, I said, just get ready. It's just going to be a fun opportunity. But so tonight there'll be 2 mats in the pit. There'll be a couple other mats in their auxiliary gym. I know the 2 mats in the pit are actually going to be streamed live on some website. I can't remember which one, but it's going to be a neat experience. I'm expecting quite a few people.
And you're going to be road warriors. No home meets this year.
Not yet. And I keep getting that question. I tell everybody, I said, I'm working with Kevin. We have a deal with Bettendorf right now. We're trying to get them to come to us because we're going to go see them. But hopefully we can get one. I think it's going to be important, especially for everybody in the community.
So now when the girls do get the opportunity to wrestle at home, is it going to be the spotlight on the major mat again, or
we'll
what?
Have to see. I want to make it special for them, so you never know. We'll do something.
Yeah, and again, thanks for coming in. How are the roads?
Roads aren't bad.
Okay.
Yep. Roads aren't bad. I'm disappointed to see the snow already, but well, that means wrestling season's here.
The final question, of course, the season is just getting underway, but what about the postseason? How's that look?
So at the end of January, we're going to look at 4 regional meets, and we'll be put in a group, and it'll just be like a district tournament. And then February 2nd and 3rd is the state tournament in Coralville, and you know, hopefully, I told the girls, you never know what's going to happen. Everybody's in the same boat, so we got some work to do from now until the end of January.
All right, we'll catch up with you on the River City Sports Review through the course of the winter season. Best of luck tonight down at North Scott.
Appreciate it, Gary.